Welcome into a Thursday edition of Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Today on the show, the Falcons may have the best player that they've drafted since Julio Jones. Yes, I'm saying that. Arthur Smith, my coach, he's saying exactly what I want to hear about this year. And I'm old enough to remember when y'all told me that Luka could carry a team by himself to the NBA Finals and win it and all that. We'll talk about all that. We got a lot to cover here today. It is Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.
This is Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
Welcome into another edition of Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Head over to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta, and find us in there. Very easy to find. Hit that subscribe button. 1,300 strong and growing every day. Thanks so much for being part of the community. And, of course, follow me on my personal Twitter page. That would be at JMCH316. You know, I'm always looking for Falcons-related stories and things like that. I do a segment on my radio show called The Falcon Flyover, and always looking for little stories and nuggets and things like that. And I do like Pro Football Focus. I'm one of those people that thinks that there is some benefit to what Pro Football Focus is. I don't think it's all gospel. I think that, you know, there are some biases in there, but I'm also not dismissive of it. And there are a lot of folks that are in the know, that use the analytics and things like that they provide. Came across something here that talks about the top, 25 players under 25 going into the season. Top 25 players under the age of 25 going into 2022. And there are some pretty easy, recognizable names on the list, right? Nick Bosa's number 1, Justin Herbert number 2, Jonathan Taylor 3, Tristan Wirfs number 4, maybe my second favorite offensive lineman in the league, Justin Jefferson number 5, Micah Parsons number 6, the monster that he had, Jamar Chase at 8, Jeffrey Simmons of the Titans at number 8, Jamar Chase at 7. And then at number 9, is A.J. Terrell. Quote, Terrell earned the highest coverage grade of any cornerback in the NFL last season. He allowed just 29 catches for 200 yards all year and surrendered a league-low 47.5 passer rating into his coverage. His massive leap in production in just his second NFL season at such a difficult position moves him into the top 10 of this list. Now, amongst all defensive players, he is 4th overall. Crazy to think about, isn't it? And I'm asking this question because he took a big leap in year 1, year 2, and now he's got a running mate on the other side in Casey Hayward that you think is only going to make him better, a veteran who's been a very productive guy. Is it too much to say that A.J. Terrell is the best draft pick the Falcons have had since Julio Jones? Now, listen, on this top 25, under 25, Kyle Pitts is on that list too. I think he comes in at number 24, I believe, is where number 24 is where Kyle Pitts comes on. And there's no doubt that he's the guy that's the unicorn and all the things that we heard and all the hype, and he's going to do all these sorts of things. But again, when you talk about receiver, a lot of things have to happen leading up to that. You know, we talk about how before Kyle Pitts can make a play in the NFL, there has to be a good snap. The line has to protect. Quarterback has to make a read. He has to throw an accurate pass. The quarterback has to read the field. Pitts has to get open, this, that, and the other. And then once the ball is in the air headed toward Pitts, then he makes the catch and then can make a play from there. So a lot of things have to happen. You have to rely on more than just your quarterback, more than just your offensive line. There's a lot of things that go into this. But with corner, it's mano a mano, right? And the best corners are those man guys, the Deion Sanders, the Darrelle Revises of the world. Look, I'll be the first to admit that when the Falcons took A.J. Terrell, I didn't think it was a bad pick, but he wasn't the top corner that I wanted. You know, I wanted the kid, I think it was Henderson out of the University of Florida that went to Jacksonville. I was kind of hoping maybe the Falcons would trade up and go get him. I thought they needed corner. I thought the position was a good fit, and I thought they needed help on there. But I was a little bit skeptical about A.J. Terrell. And not so much because, you know, the game that he had against Jamar Chase. And remember, people were like, oh, well, look, he couldn't cover Jamar Chase in the national title game and this and the other. okay, I don't take one game for what it's worth. I don't use a whole body of work, base it just off of one game. But I didn't think he was the best corner and thought maybe that was a little bit high and rich for him. But with the progress that he's made, and you think about how bad this defense is, and still think about the fact that this defense was still I think they were the second worst pass defense in the NFL. So imagine what they would be. I mean, again, not much room to go further down, but imagine how bad it looks if you don't have AJ Terrell. And it's not a matter of Terrell not taking on the best guys. It's not a matter of teams being afraid to throw it against the Falcons because the pass rush is so good, right? Teams don't fear putting the ball in the air and hucking it all around the Falcons. And there are plenty of places to pick on and plenty of targets that you can go after. But Terrell has been magnificent. Last year, he had the second highest grade in the NFL as far as cornerbacks go. Only Jalen Ramsey had a higher grade. But Terrell's jump in just a year, and you think about the position that he's playing, because it is true. You heard about, talking about Pro Football Focus saying a difficult position. It is tough for guys at corner to come into the NFL. Wide receivers and corners oftentimes will struggle coming into the NFL, just grasping the game. And look, AJ Terrell played at Clemson, so he saw a high level amount of top tier wide receivers. But for a lot of guys, they don't see week in, week out in the college football world, first round caliber NFL wide receivers. They don't play against the tippy top guys every single week. You play whatever. Give me a slug school like a Louisville or something like that. Okay. You're not going to see a lot of top tier first round NFL talent. You might see a wide receiver over the course of 4 years or something like that is a first round caliber type of guy. But there are some of those weeks where you just don't see a lot of great competition, or you're playing a Division II school and all this, that, and the other. But Terrell's progress has been amazing. And it is a testament to how good he is, a testament to how good, he's become and his work ethic and everything like that. And look, I've said before on this podcast that I love Dean Pease. I love what he brings to the table. And my thing is, man, if they can find a pass rush and they can put the quarterback on the ground, because I know people love to say, well, a good secondary helps a good pass. No, done. No, done. Either you sack the quarterback, you can't sack the quarterback. Your defensive backs, unless you have 5 first-team All-NFL. If you have a defensive backfield that has 5 first-team All-NFL guys, okay, then that can help the pass rush. But having one corner that's excellent and a really good corner beside him isn't helping your pass rush. There's still 4 other guys running out in patterns and in the formation, and if quarterbacks have time to pick you apart, nobody can cover for 7 seconds. The pass rush helps the secondary. It doesn't work the other way around. Don't buy into that mythology of all that stuff. A good pass rush will help your secondary. So if the Falcons can find a way to put the quarterback on the ground, and then what that does, of course, is that changes down and distance, where you put teams behind the 8 ball. Picking up 3rd and 3 or 4 in the NFL is completely different than picking up 3rd and 14 or 15 in the NFL. Drastic difference. So if you get those sacks and you create longer down and distance, that's going to allow guys like Terrell to be even better, because again, there aren't many plays in the book that call for 3rd and 14 or 15 or things like that. So I give all kinds of credit to AJ Terrell. And he really is a stud. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that he's the best draft pick the Falcons have had since Julio Jones. And that includes Grady, Debo, Jake Matthews, Vic Beasley, all these guys that you want to throw out. That includes Kyle Pitts and everything as well. But if you look at how good Terrell has been, man, his growth in just 1 year has been outstanding. And if they get a pass rush, he's going to be even better. Well, when we get back, I am excited by what my head coach keeps talking about for the Falcons. Arthur Smith is saying all the right things, and I love his mentality. We'll talk about that next. Is Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.